My girlfriend and everyone else who knows me a little bit better would argue that I'm a nerd and a gear slut, and yeah, they're right. But to be fair, I was waiting for this particular piece of gear for a while, and I'm really happy to introduce you to the Motorized Micro 2 by Zeapon. A slider with a small footprint, a fair price point and a bright future, because more and more I fall in love with this little sucker. So get yourself a tea or a coffee and let's roll that intro. Last year they released the Micro 2, a manual slider, and also the Easy Lock, which is a low profile mount, which allows you to use the slider without a tripod and also enables you the possibility to make low angle shots. I was playing around with the Micro 2 on several expos and I was really surprised by its build quality, and after their announcement where they also want to bring a motorized version, they got my attention. When you purchase a motorized Micro 2, you have in fact actually a Micro 2 with an add-on motor, which you can actually remove. If you have a replacement belt, you can also use it manually. Let's get physical. The Micro 2 had a width of 33 centimeters and could make a distance of 54 centimeters. The motorized Micro 2 is around 40 centimeters width because of the attachment of the motor, and it loses 2 centimeters, which is not really a big deal because, to be honest, sometimes you overestimate the distance of a slider. So to me it's not a big deal when I lose 2 centimeters. The motor case is made out of plastic, the slider itself is made out of metal, which is super durable, but it comes with a weight, and this weight is 1.8 kilograms, and for my American friends, 3.5 pounds around. If you use the slider with the Easy Lock, you have also to add 600 another grams, which is, for my American friends again, around 1.1 pounds. Even with its small footprint and even when you can put it easily into your backpack, you have to consider if you want to wear this amount of weight. The slider can be powered over common MPF batteries, and I guess everyone who is into filmmaking or in photography has them laying around like gummy bears. And Zeapon promised that you can use the 570, which is the smallest one, until 4 hours, and the biggest one, the 970, until 14 hours. I was not able to train the biggest one so far. I guess it's legit, but it depends how you use. It means the speed and the duration in your shooting. You can also use USB Type-C for this purpose, for example over a power bank or a power socket, but you have to make sure that your device is supporting power delivery. Next to the USB port, there's an input for a shutter cable to connect your camera to the slider, for example for time-lapse mode or for the video mode, but there's a little issue at the moment about the package of Zeapon. By default, there is not a camera cable included at the moment, and it's not like with the gimbals from Feotech or Zhiyun, where they attach every cable for the most common cameras. You have to get it on your own, or when you order it, you have to make sure that you have the right cable, because some retailers ask you which kind of camera you're using. Some have also sets where you can pick Panasonic cameras or Canon cameras. But most of the time they are actually the normal shutter cables, but this is really a thing you should keep in mind. By default, there is no shutter cable included. While we're talking about the sets, the slider itself will cost you around 400 bucks and comes with an included neoprene bag, but there is a bigger version which includes also the Easy Lock, which costs around 480 bucks, and I would really recommend to get this one if you want to make this low angle shots or sometimes also to work on a table without a tripod. Of course, you might think the Easy Lock might be pricey, but if you hold it in your hand, you know what you pay for, because it's built like a tank. And it's not only good only for the low angle shots and for tabletop shots, also you can put it on a tripod and it comes really in handy if you want to just switch. You're done with your tripod shots, it's great, remove it, put it on the table, it's done, make your low angle shots, and it comes really in handy. So long story short, you're really flexible if you use the slider with the Easy Lock. You have 3 different buttons to control the slider even without the app. You have the forward and backward button to move the slider head, and you have the power on off switch, which you also use to change the speeds. There are 3 different speeds also already set up, which you can just switch. But one thing which is really confusing, you cannot set the slider without the app on infinity. And this is really annoying because sometimes it would be nice to use the slider without any app to just send your start and your end point and then let it run. If you do it on the slider without the app, it will only run one direction, not even to the back direction. So this is really a thing I would wish on a next firmware update. And firmware updates you can make, of course, over USB Type-C. So let's talk about the app. Zeapon is a Chinese company, and no offense, a lot of Chinese companies have really great products, but their apps really often suck. Not this one. I would say since the Zeapon E2 app or C-Camera app, this is the best one I have seen for a while. In the upper part of the video mode you see the control for the slider. Unfortunately the slider can only go from left to right and back and that's it, but the other things which we cannot control at the moment shows us the intention of Zeapon. It seems like they're working on a motorized header which can rotate and tilt, and we can program it over the points, which is great, and also on the follow focus. And this enables us in the future maybe a lot of possibilities, not only to control the focus, maybe you can also use it for zoom and create something like a vertigo effect. In the lower part you have the loop button to repeat your whole movement, you have the play button to start it and record. Unfortunately I couldn't make it work with my Panasonic camera so far. And below that you have the keyframe segment. The most sliders actually allow only a start and an end point in the same speed, but this slider allows you 5 different points and you can make really your own thing out of it. You can start really slow and go really high in the speed, and then you can go really down, and to create your own movements like speed ramp, what you actually normally do in post, you can do a lot of it already with this slider. This segment is the whole thing which you will also see in the time-lapse mode. In the time-lapse mode you can set up, of course, the duration of your time-lapse, how many shots you should take and how long your camera will expose. And also one feature which is really interesting. In the past I had to make a workaround because Panasonic by default has a gain reduction function. So when you have a gain reduction of 1 second, in the past I had to add it to my exposure settings in the apps. And with this one, it takes really care of that. And this is a really nice feature. So why is the slider such a big deal to me? First of all, it's small footprint because I can carry it around. The heavyweight is not a deal breaker for me because I put it in my backpack and I'm good to go. The second thing about the slider, it's super smooth. It doesn't matter if it was on the outer thing. I had really bad experience with other sliders. This one is constantly smooth. The third thing I really like about the slider is when you use it in a slow motor speed, you cannot even hear the motors, which comes in handy for interviews. In general, interviews will not be filmed really fast. But if you can hear the motor, it's not about the microphone which is more annoying. The most annoying thing is when your talent is distracted by a sound he cannot tell what the hell is going on. So this is really a thing which comes in handy. Number 4, ecosystem. In the past we had only the manual option and the easy lock, and now we have the Motorized Micro 2. And the app tells us Zeapon is planning at the moment several modules, for example a motorized head and a follow focus, and this sounds really promising. This is really interesting because at the moment there seems to be only 2 another brands which have this approach, Edelkrone and Rhino Sliders, and as it seems they are more pricey than Zeapon. So what do you think about the Motorized Micro 2? Do you think it's a really cool piece of gear or do I overhype it? Leave it in the comments, I'm really interested into your opinion. So I hope this video was interesting and helpful to you, and I would really appreciate if you would leave a like and a subscribe. If you have any questions or a topic I should cover in the future, you can leave it in the comments as well. So I'm Konrad, this was Shutterhouse, see you in the next one.